Hi everyone and welcome to the Learning Ladder. Today I'm doing my review of Harcourt Science. This is the grade 5 edition. I believe I have done a flip through of this before. If I did, I'll link it either as a card or in the description box below. But basically you have life science, which then is split up into categories, or chapters. We've got cells, classifying living things, animal growth, energy and ecosystems and change. Earth science, so we've got rock cycle, fossils, I'm not going to read everything, you can see yourself, weather, some space stuff. Physical science, we've got matter, energy, electricity, forces, motion. Okay, so I'll show you what a typical chapter looks like. So this one is chapter 7, which is the rock cycle, and it's split into 3 lessons. What are minerals, how do rocks form, and how rocks changed. You have your overview here with your vocabulary words down the side. There is your experiment. And then reading. The little InstaLab sections throughout with different experiments or activities you can do. And then you have your lesson review up the top, and then making connections. So they do a cross-curricular approach. So you've got a writing activity, some math and social studies. It's the same for each lesson. They usually have an additional reading section at the end of the chapters. In this case, it's about people in science. And then they have a review and test preparation section. So that's what a typical chapter looks like. So how do we use it? I made science notebooks to go along with the book. So I'll show you the pages for this lesson we haven't done yet. So this is lesson 2 in the space bit, and we've got how do Earth and the Moon compare with our vocabulary on the side. And then the first thing is our investigation experiment. So what I did was I made a experiment sheet. So this is the copy of the table, the observation table. I also found some videos on YouTube that I thought would be good to watch that go along with the chapter, and I just hyperlinked them. This obviously is the printed copy, but on my copy on my computer I hyperlink them so we can watch those while we either before or after we do our experiment. We'll read all the appropriate pages, and then what I did was I looked at the making connections and decided if we wanted to do any of those, or I made up my own. So in this case, I made a what are the phases of the moon drawing and writing activity, and I found a video for us to watch. We have our vocabulary words here. And then again, for the next lesson, make a telescope with a chart. So I replicated the chart, found a video that I thought would go along with the topic. Then I decided to do a design your own planet, who would live there and what would they do sheet, and then the vocabulary and space to draw. So that's how we use it. We do the experiment, we read what's required for reading in there, and then I've found some videos, we watch videos that go along with it, and then we do the make connections activities, either what they've said or I make up my own in our notebook. So the pros, it's got all the information already in the book, in theory. I personally don't feel like it's enough to just read that. That's why I've added videos and other things. But it does have all the information in there. So if you were just happy to maybe get an encyclopedia or something, then, that could be enough. It also does have the experiments in here for you, so you don't have to make up your own. It's really bright and colourful. I like the make connections parts. I also like the little additional little reading sections that they came up with. So for example, this was about diamonds, a crystal cave, so they're always fun and interesting. The cons for us was my daughter didn't feel like there was enough experiments in here. She really loves doing experiments, and this wasn't enough to satisfy her desire to do experiments. So that's part of the reason why I have made my Wings of Fire unit, so that I can plan the science and plan all the experiments in addition to what's in the text and everything else, so that she gets all the extra experiments in there. But if your kid likes the odd experiment, but it's not a big thing for them, then I think this would work really well. But if your child is like mine and really loves getting in there, doing all the hands-on stuff, then you might have to add quite a lot to it in terms of experiments to fulfill that requirement for them. So that was really my only con. I thought it was really interesting. Like I say, I really like the make connections section. The diagrams are really good. So overall I was happy with it. Would I get it again? possibly, but unlikely. It served a purpose for what we needed, but I don't think I would choose to use it again in the future. I don't know if there is a workbook that goes along with it. I'm guessing there probably is, but I just bought this used off of eBay, I think, or Amazon, or some used book site anyway. So that was hence why I made my own workbooks to go with. But that was definitely a pro, because then I could add video links and everything, because I really like adding video links to our lessons, especially with things like science and history, just to bring everything to life. That's our dog Lexi when she was a puppy. So I definitely think you can make your own notebook, and you don't have to get a workbook if there is one, which I'm assuming there must be, to go with. You can just make your own. So overall, it's been fine, absolutely fine. No major issues with it. Like I say, just we wanted a few more experiments, but we've had experiment kits and things, so it's not been an issue. But it's just something to bear in mind. If your child is really into doing experiments, you might have to add some extra stuff. But I hope that was interesting for you. If you've got any questions, leave them below, and I'll see you in our next video. Take care.